What's going on, guys? Jason Wilmot here, and in this video we are going to discuss the top 5 mistakes that I see marketers making when it comes to Facebook ads. So stick around, let's hop into this. Here we go. Alright folks, in this video we're going to discuss the top 5 mistakes that I see marketers and business owners making when it comes to Facebook ads. Now, to give you a little bit of context here, I have been working with clients as a consultant, kind of running my own agency for the past 5 years. And I've worked with a lot of businesses up to this point, leveraged a lot of income and revenue for them. I've had this privilege of spending a lot of money on Facebook ads. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars here. So the thing to understand about Facebook ads, or any ad platform, is that it is a pay-to-play sort of game. You're not going to learn how to run Facebook ads from YouTube videos, right? You're watching this right now, and that's great. But honestly, until you get into the back end, until you start spending either your money or your client's money, you realize that this is a pay-to-play game where you have to literally put money into the engine in order to get results. And what I want to do before you do that, maybe you've hopped into Facebook marketing already, maybe you're just a beginner, maybe you're more advanced like I am, but what I want to do is kind of lay out these 5 mistakes that I think are probably costing you money if you go about this the wrong way. That's a little bit of context. Let's go ahead and hop into these mistakes. All right, so mistake number 1 is not having a pixel on your website. Now, let me tell you why this is so important. In the land of internet marketing, it all boils down to intent, right? That's why people run Google search ads, because if somebody is typing in a problem, they're trying to find a solution, and so they're displaying intent. In an e-commerce funnel, the intent is always to buy. But let's say that you're a lead-based business and you function on leads, clients, customers, that sort of thing. Well, where is the greatest intent for you? Well, I can tell you that it is on your website. So people are already on your website. Your website is on all of your business cards, your marketing materials. People are already on your website, so there is intent. So how do you start running ads to the people who've displayed the greatest amount of intent on your website? Well, you need to do something called retargeting, and we're going to get into that in a second. But the only way that you can serve people with ads who have already been to your website is by pixeling them. So basically, a pixel is a snippet of code that is injected on your backend or your header. It's injected maybe via Google Tag Manager. And what that's doing is essentially listening to the people visiting your website. So if they visit a specific web page, if they perform a certain action, you can actually program your pixel to identify these events and then go put ads back in front of them. But here's the deal. You can't put ads back in front of these people until you put this pixel on your website. Now, there's a lot more about all of this, but we're going to jump to mistake number 2. So here we go. All right, so mistake number 2 is not having something called a conversion on your website. And more importantly, when it comes to Facebook, this is called a custom conversion. Now, in order to understand what a funnel is and how it works, is you have to get people into your website, but then they eventually have to hit this end point. So how do you create an end point? Well, normally what I would suggest is using a thank you page. So if somebody opts into your offer, maybe your offer is scheduling a demo, maybe it is requesting a quote, maybe it is booking a phone call. After that action is taken, you should then redirect visitors to a thank you page. And it's on this thank you page where you deploy this thing called a custom conversion. Now, why is that important? Well, basically, when you're in a funnel, you need to identify the endpoints of your funnel, and more importantly, you need to identify those endpoints so that you know your conversion rate and your cost per conversion. You can't just go spending money blindly online. You need to know how much this actual conversion is actually costing you. And that's a mistake that I see a lot of people make when it comes to Facebook ads. They don't build in this custom conversion. So they're giving Facebook all this money, they're shoveling it out, but they don't know when somebody actually opts in. And the way that you do that is through doing this thing called a custom conversion. And then you're programming Facebook to understand, oh, that's the conversion, that's what we're trying to achieve. So Facebook can then go out, or the pixel I should say, more importantly I should say the AI, can go out and find more people who behave similar to that. So that is mistake number 2. Of course, there's way more to all of these that you should understand, but I'm just giving you the overview here. All right, so mistake number 3 is all about retargeting, but I'm gonna get into a layer deeper on this. So mistake number 3, I would say, yeah, a lot of people aren't leveraging remarketing. Like I said, people are coming to your website, your URL is literally printed on all of your marketing materials, and it's very, very effective to set up retargeting to put ads back in front of your greatest prospects. And there's a whole nother video on that, and I don't really want to focus on retargeting in this video. Here's the nugget, though, that I want people to understand. The third mistake that I see that marketers make are they're not creating exclusion audiences. Now, let me tell you about this. So let's say that somebody opted into your funnel. Let's say they converted, right? You don't want to spend money on them in the same campaign, right? If you're running a prospecting campaign where you're trying to find leads off the top of the internet, never heard about you before, you don't want to advertise to the people who've already opted into your funnel. So what you need to do in Facebook audiences is to create an exclusion list. So you're saying in your targeting, you're saying, hey, I'm targeting these people, but do not target these folks. You see, when you understand how to leverage exclusion lists, you're really able to start creating segment-specific messaging for each segment in your funnel. So yes, maybe you do want to run ads to the people who've already opted in. Why would you want to do that? Because an opt-in and the close are not the same thing. Your sales cycle lasts longer than a few seconds. You need to be able to warm up this lead until you close them. And that is where you can leverage some really cool advertising or email marketing drips to warm up this lead. However, you need to bucket these people into several different areas. And that's why it's so important to understand how to leverage exclusion audiences. All right, mistake number 4 is when you're running top of funnel or prospecting campaigns, meaning these people haven't heard about you before, they haven't visited your website, you can't retarget them. What I see most people struggle with is this idea of they have one audience and one ad. So mistake number 4 is the lack of split testing, right? You always want to be understanding the market and what the market is trying to achieve or what they're trying to solve or what they like, right? What I mean by that is this. If you go out and you put out one ad with one piece of copy or one image and one video and there's no other split test variations of that, you're not doing yourself a very good service, because this is why. Who's to say that the market likes the copy that you wrote, right? Who's to say that they are going to engage with the image or the video? What I see where a lot of marketers make this easy mistake, have several combinations of either one image with different copy or one piece of copy with different images. And you always want to be split testing this because you want to understand what the market is more likely to, click through and engage. It's very, very important when you are in a growth marketing or growth hacking position that you understand how to leverage variables and variations inside of your marketing efforts, right? Maybe you want to run the same ad with a different image on this version of an ad or this version of an ad. And what you want to do over time is to see, which one is either higher engaged, which one leads to a higher click-through rate, which one leads to a higher conversion rate. You always need to be split testing. Now, let's say that you found this incredible ad and it works for you, right? And there's several instances where you can leverage one ad. It's in my training that I show you where we've literally leveraged one ad for 11,000 landing page views. But that's normally not the case. And you can't get to that until you start split testing a bunch. And once you find that winner, then you can inject that. What I'm trying to say is this, yes, go with your gut at first in putting together your copy, your images, and all of these things. But after a while, you need to start leveraging the data that you're gathering from your campaigns and make smarter decisions based upon your data that way. So mistake number 4, lack of split testing. So my suggestion to you is always be split testing. All right, guys, before I get to mistake number 5, what I would encourage you to do, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love it. I would absolutely love to continue to bring more value. So go ahead, subscribe now, and that will be that. All right, mistake number 5. This comes back to retargeting and remarketing. So this is a little bit more technical, but where I feel like there's a lot of areas to gain are creating audiences. Event-based audiences, URL-based audiences, people who've engaged with your page. If you go into Facebook Business Manager and you go into audiences, you'll see that there is a plethora, that means a lot. There's a lot of different ways that you can create audiences. And I feel like most marketers don't take the time to create different variations of audiences. You can go in there and you can say, I want to target the people who've engaged with my page, who've engaged with my posts, who've clicked a call to action, who have sent a message. You could do the same thing for Instagram of people who like my bio, or you can go into the video section and say, I want to target people who watch 50% or more of my video, or 75%. Like, there are so many different ways that you can start creating audiences in order to really just kind of split test and improve your performance of your campaigns over time. So I would encourage you to spend some time in there. Try to think of a couple different audiences that you could create. Maybe it's as easy as I want to target all the people who hit this specific page. If you're more advanced, maybe you want to create events and create audience based upon events. The way that you do that is through Google Tag Manager. If somebody performs a specific action, you send that event into Facebook and you create an audience based upon the event. So maybe somebody clicked a button, maybe somebody scrolled so far, maybe somebody watched some certain video. You can do that. That's a little bit more advanced, but if you're not that advanced, go ahead and try to create different audiences based upon, a specific URL. Like if you're in SaaS, right? A great indicator of somebody's interest is if they visited your pricing page. That makes a ton of sense. If you are in a traditional lead-based business and somebody is reaching out to you to request a quote, create an audience for everybody who hit that page because they have shown way more intent than somebody else. Mistake number 5 is not creating enough audiences and not split testing with enough audiences, and specifically tie into your remarketing or your retargeting as well. All right, folks, so there you go. Those are the top 5 mistakes that I see marketers making when it comes to Facebook ads. Now, there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of nuance to each one of these mistakes. So if you've got questions, comments, what I would encourage you to do is write them below. If you enjoy this, I would say smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. I would love to engage with you in the comments. More importantly, if you like this and you want to share it with somebody, found it valuable, share it with somebody who needs to see this. If you want to learn more about Hacktics and how to build yourself an unstoppable sales funnel, a machine that just runs on automation with trackable, predictable, scalable results, go ahead and click through, go to my website there. Or I also provide a course to teach people how to do exactly what I do, how to be a growth marketing consultant or how to start a growth marketing agency. Regardless, I hope you found some value in this video, and I hope to see you soon in the Hacktics community or in the next video. All right, guys, adios. Take care of yourselves. Bye.